Hey everyone, Internet PCS book reader here. Today I want to talk about Jose the Tiger and the Beast by Seiko Tanabe. This manga is based on a movie that is based on a short story. I've watched the movie which is directed by Kotaro Tamura, which is fairly unknown in the anime movie industry and is actually quite good. I've also read novel by Seiko Tanabe in a short story collection which I've completely forgotten that I've read before I started making this video. And then there's this manga by Naoe Emoto, a mangaka that is still mostly known for their manga collab with Maksu and D. Mari Okada, the person who directed Makuya. But those are stories for another day. For now, let's get back into this book. The story starts with a guy who is diving into the ocean. He's Suneo. Not giant sidekick bully Suneo, but Suneo Suzukawa. A guy that likes diving so much he is doing part-time work in a diving equipment store. And not only that, he likes diving so much that he's not even aware that his co-worker is flirting with him, inviting him to dive together, just the two of them. Maybe he's one of those dance protagonists, or maybe he's just not looking for a relationship right now. On his way back home, he bought a beginner book in learning Spanish and he had to take a different route than usual because there was a construction that blocked the road. He heard a scream and the sound of an incoming rolling giant. It was not the rolling giant, it was a girl on a wheelchair going all deja vu on the road. The wheelchair hit something which launched the girl into the air, and thankfully Suneo was ready to capture her. And that is how the two main characters met, a random chance encounter. The girl's name is Kumiko Yamamura, and she was walking with her grandmother Chisu Yamamura when she lost control of her wheelchair. Instead of thanking Suneo for saving her, she bites him and called him a creep. Then they have an awkward walk together since their home is the same way. Chisu invited Suneo to her house to eat some dinner because his dinner is ruined, where Kumiko called him a bum for eating dinner at her house, then told him that she's not Kumiko, she's Joshi. Joshi's character writing is a bit similar to the Japanese archetype character, the tsundere, which is a character that at first goes sun or in lack of better word, bitchy, but sometimes shows their dere side or shy or love-struck. It's one of the most annoying tropes because it rarely do anything interesting with the archetype besides its basic surface level, which is just a very insufferable human being that is written as if we're supposed to like them. And Joshi is very mean for some reason, giving digs after digs, and eventually she turns violent when Suneo said why can't she just get her own tea instead of asking her old grandmother to do it for her. Chisu, who found him to be an interesting guy, offered him a part-time job. Since he's planning to study abroad to Mexico after he graduated, he decided to take the offer before knowing the job, which is to just do whatever Joshi told him to do, except for one thing, never took her outside. Then she left, leaving the two of them stuck together with an excruciating awkward silence. The awkward silence didn't last long. Joshi put him through menial tasks that are meant to torture him, asking him to sit on his knees for as long as possible, counting the grains in the tatami, etc. While some of this is just her being mean as usual, some of the tasks like finding 10 4-life covers seems to mean something. He hated it of course, but he needed the money because his dream to go to Mexico means a lot to him. He didn't just do multiple part-time jobs, he also studied Spanish and he's even wrote an essay about the Turing pattern. Yes, it's based on that Turing. Turing not only made the first model of modern computer and computer algorithm, which makes him considered to be the father of modern computer science, but also during his free time, he studied biology where he wrote about the concept of patterns that emerge on various life forms, hence the Turing pattern. Suneo writing this essay shows how much he wanted to go study abroad to be more involved with studying lives under the sea. Meanwhile, Joshi woke up with the world now under the sea. In this world, she's a mermaid swimming freely. She can even swim near the great blue whale, but of course, it's all a dream. In reality, she still cannot walk, and she cannot even go outside because Jisoo is quite overprotective of her. Outside is dangerous. Outside is overrun with animals. Joshi cannot protect herself outside. While Jisoo has raised and protected Joshi all her life, the way she raised her is what caused Joshi to be the person who is always mean to Suneo, since she's a spoiled child who turns into a spoiled adult, who cannot take care of herself and have no independence whatsoever because her grandmother always belittles her. In her misguided attempt at protecting her grandchildren from the war, she kept telling her that she's not good enough for the war. But despite all her warning, Joshi decided to go outside. It is during this time Suneo, who finally decided that he cannot take Joshi's treatment anymore, comes to their house to quit. Not hearing any answer from Joshi, he goes inside her room, which, what the fuck bro? But she saw Joshi's work in her room, all the things that she drew. He didn't stay for long because he heard Jisoo shouting for Kumiko outside the house when he found out that she's escaped. Suneo easily found her and he too told her the same thing her grandmother has said to her all her life. Do you think you'd be fine on your own? Which is when she told him to take her to the beach. He took her there mostly out of kindness, and going outside for the first time for someone who was raised to be agoraphobic is a lot. There are always people who only think for themselves, the tigers of the world. But there are also people who won't let those kind of behaviors slide. So despite all the tigers that might attack her, she decided to go to ride the train to the beach. It's in this train that Suneo finally saw the side of Josie outside of the bubble that Jisoo has built for her. Josie wanted to do more than see. She wanted to go to touch the water, taste it. But of course the beach sand is not a friendly place for a wheelchair, so she fell. He carried her to the water where they had a ton of fun playing with the water before they went back home. And ever since then, they decided to sneak out of the house every day when Jisoo usually fell asleep. She had grip for the first time, they went to buy paint together, they ride a Ferris wheel together, they even went to the aquarium where Josie finally saw real fish outside of those she saw in books. All these new experiences that she drew inside her room. Jisoo of course noticed that Josie has been sneaking out with the caretaker, but she seemed happy about it. Josie even found a new friend when they went to the library, a fellow reader who loved Francois Sagan as much as her. But meeting all these different people made her start comparing herself to others. Hannah, the librarian she just met, is a 24-year-old woman just like her. But unlike her who stayed at home doing nothing, Hannah is working in the library, dealing with tons of different kinds of people. Understandably, she's quite insecure about herself. It got worse when Sunil brought her to his workplace and she saw different kind of girls for the first time ever, people who have different kind of fashion style and different body shape than her. She then saw Sunil's coworker Mai, who is a diver that is much more fit than her, who has never done anything physical in her life. Her insecurity caused her to lash out at Sunil, and they had a fight where she refused to meet him again. It was during this time that Sunil's scholarship application to study abroad was accepted, and soon he had to leave Japan to go to Mexico. But Sunil, who cannot just leave still having a fight with Josie, decided to give her a lamp made from a clarion fish to meet up with her. Josie has been more independent. She even went to the library to meet with Hannah without Sunil, and there she painted to show a girl who asked her what the Mermaid Princess Palace might look like, showing her art for the first time in public. She eventually stands up to her grandmother, saying that the outside is not all scary. She showed her vulnerable side more easily to Sunil, showing how much she can depend on him. But everything started to go wrong with her life. Jisoo passed away, and Josie now had to take care of herself without her grandmother. She cannot pay Sunil to be the caretaker anymore. She got a caseworker who is supposed to help her be more independent, but the guy is a nutcase who started to push her to just get any job instead of finding places where she can use her art more so he can get this over with. And to make it all worse, in a misguided attempt at separating Sunil and Josie, Mai, who had a crush on her, told Josie that Sunil need to go abroad soon and that he's only with Josie because he felt sorry for her. When Sunil comes to visit her, she asks him to go visit the beach again for the last time, where she decided to confront him about leaving. They fought, and she decided to leave because he cannot really say anything else. When Sunil decided to finally chase her, he found Josie stuck on a pothole while crossing the road. He tried to help her, which caused him to get hit by an incoming car. Sunil survived the incident, but his leg got injured to the point where he might never recover. During his recovery, the scholarship pulled out because even if he recovered, he's not going to make it in the deadline that the scholarship gave, and this caused him to give up on even trying to recover. Josie, who felt guilty, avoided going to the hospital, and Mai, who realized she won't be able to help Sunil recover, decided to give up on him by confessing to him, knowing she'll be rejected, and then go to Josie so she'll do something for Sunil. Josie took the bait, and with Hannah's help, she made a story based on her meeting with Sunil in order to cheer him up. And seeing Josie, who has always been dependent on someone else, did this for him, he decided to go with his physiotherapy trying to walk once again. And he did. After many grueling physiotherapy, the hospital decided that he'll eventually walk again. Sunil asked Josie to visit him on the day he's going to be discharged from the hospital, but Josie, who decided to be more independent and not rely on anyone ever again, decided to leave without telling anyone, causing Sunil to run all over the place looking for her. Thankfully, he found her after a callback encounter to their first meeting, and they decided to go out, ending the story of Josie, the tiger, and the fish. Storytelling can be awkward at times. You can really tell that some parts are done to make the scene more dramatic, and it caused the scene to become too melodramatic. Josie crawling on the beach to get to the water while she's monologuing, while Sunil just watched until she finished her monologue feels comedic because of how absurd it is. And it's not the only parts that are like that. Then some characters didn't get fleshed out all that well because of how short the story is, but the part that is well written is really well written. Because it is a story about the insecurities of the characters, you can understand some of the decisions and lashing out that the characters done because of their insecurities. You might not like them, but you can at least understand why they did what they did. It is a short and simple romance story, and sometimes it's all that a story needs to be. Between the novel, the manga, and the anime, if you only had the time to enjoy one of them, I'd recommend the anime before the manga. The novel is very skippable because it is a short story where the story and character are less fleshed out. And between the manga and the anime, there's no difference at all in the story being told, but the anime had more moving parts that are done really well. That's why I think the anime is the best media to come out of the story, while the manga is for those that wanted to collect something more physical from this story. I give this a 3.5. What do you think? Let me know if I missed anything, so leave your thoughts in the comment below and subscribe to the channel. That's about it. See ya.